what you're doing at home matters. Now my child does not eat food. So what am I doing? I'm switching on the screen and I'm feeding the child. Where is the food going? Your first teacher is your mother.
That we are not consciously eating, the mind is somewhere else and you're just eating it.
If you come to a point where you make a choice between money and your relations, that means your relationships are the ones which gives you the foundation of your life. Parents, educators in today's time need to work together. What was mother's condition during pregnancy?
Talking about traveling and taking self-care and me time, but yet we are parallelly depressed. Just something not working out. Hello and welcome everyone. This is your host and host, founder and CEO, Aerobay Experiential Learning Program, Neha Chauhan. And today we have a very special guest amongst us. She's been into the education domain from past 20 years. And it's our pleasure, it's our honor to have her here. Shilpa ma'am, she is the principal of Rejoice International School, Malad West. Welcome ma'am. First of all, how are you feeling today ma'am?
Thank you, Neha. It's wonderful to be here with you.
Right.
I'm feeling happier.
Lovely ma'am. Ma'am, so the idea of this podcast series where, because most of our audience is the young generation, young parents, young working professionals and all the students of course. Because you've been in this domain for such a long time, you're a person with a whole lot of power in this domain. What career advice or what one tip would you like to give them through your journey, life experiences which you had so far in terms of how do we define our path in our life towards the success?
Sure. Now, see, every child that is there has his own talent. Okay, so rather than we paving a path for them, I think in today's time, we need to be the facilitators to say the path for them.
Right.
So each child has his own unique talent. It may not be just academics. There are so many other avenues. And with today the progress that the whole world is making, I think they can choose anything that they want to be.
Right.
So first thing is we need to be a facilitator. And second, we need to give them the confidence.
Right.
That yes, they can achieve it. And along the path, show them what are the right steps to take. And I'm sure they'll be very successful in whatever they do.
Right. Lovely. When talking about success, were you always aware that you're going to be holding this strong position one day at this point of your life? Were your choices in terms of getting the education, jobs, were always clear?
Yes, it was very clear to me, but I was not able to take up that path due to some other reasons. Because you see, there's always a pressure, the time that I come from, we had only 2 streams to do.
Right.
That is either you do science or you do your engineering,
Yes.
So it was very difficult in that time. And I come from a house of educators.
Wow.
So that is what has influenced me, especially my mom.
Right.
Okay, she's been an educator through her life.
Right.
So I think her strong genes being the first child have come to me.
Right.
So I was very clear when I wanted to be a teacher, though it took some time, but I have reached there, I would say, and I'm still learning. Because now being an educator, you have to be first a learner,
Right.
so that you can help others, and pave their own paths and take up their own careers.
Right.
So yes, that is how success is for me. I've been working towards this, not that I'm not. I've also worked in corporate for some time, but then that was not my cup of tea, so I came back to education.
They came back and now because of you, so many lives are changing, so many students, they are learning from you, so many parents, they are look towards you. Ma'am, talking about education sector, what particular skill set you try to add in your school student at Rejoice International? It can be through any domain related to any particular skill or more toward the communication, vocational side, or are we focused more in terms of getting good grades so that it can help in terms of clearing those competitive exam, getting into the right university? What kind of approach do you take with your own school student?
And firstly, let me tell you that Rejoice International School believes in happy schooling.
Right.
So our first aim is to see that every child in the school is happy.
Right.
Because once the child is happy, learning becomes easier. It comes very easy to them.
Right.
Once they've come to table, they're happy coming to school and they're very exciting coming to stay. So that is our first aim, and that's the first step that we take. Second is we try and tap the potential in the primary section itself.
Oh, okay.
So we do expose them to a lot of competitive exams. competitions outside the school and within the school.
Right.
Because some kids are, more towards the arts part of it,
Right.
performing arts.
Right.
Some kids are more towards academic. So we help them to see the balance because it is required. See, going ahead to get into college and, or higher universities, they would need their grades.
Yes.
So yes, building upon that potential is important, but at the same time, helping them to see that the other avenues are also available.
Right.
And they can actually, have a balance.
Right.
So that is what we work at, and then we help them. Then we have sessions with our children. We have counseling sessions with parents as well.
Right.
Career counseling comes in much before at Rejoice. So they right from grade 7 and 8, we start talking to our children
Right.
and we try and understand what they really want to do. And then we try and analyze how they can achieve it,
Right.
at what potential do they stand, and then we, guide them according to that. That's how we do it.
Ma'am, does that create a difference? For example, if we are doing career counseling for 7th standard student versus we first time introduce student to career counseling after their 12th class. Does both of the process create any difference?
Yes, it does. I think right now, where education industry stands, grade 12 is quite
Too late.
yeah, it's too late. Because right now children know what they want,
Right.
okay, and they're very curious.
Right.
So there are times when they want to do something, but maybe they don't have a potential. But when they are gauging that, they understand that, okay, no, I have a potential somewhere else. So why not try that? So if you do it from, say, 7th and 8th, they
Right.
still have the 2 or 3 years of time in their hand to make the right choices. Because once you come to grade 9, you are confirming your choices.
Right.
And you're, kind of paving a path for future.
Right.
So like right now, from grade 9, they have a choice of either choosing science or choosing the commerce subjects as per their interest.
Right.
Well, of course, going ahead, that benefits them. But they can do it. And Rejoice International School being in Cambridge curriculum school, where we deliver Cambridge curriculum, there is a lot of flexibility with subject.
Right.
So, they can explore different things. So that by the time they do their 10, they know that this is a path that I need to go to.
Right.
And this is, and that's how we facilitate it. So going in 11, 12 becomes more easier. And by the time they're completing 12th, they know for sure what's coming up.
Right. So these couple of years, it will give student enough time to actually decide or more like explore different domain.
Absolutely.
And try it out whether they're actually good at it, they really have an interest in it, instead of just giving them 2 years, 11th or 12th.
Yes, absolutely. Because they get time to think. And if you see that it's every day, I would say things are evolving.
Right.
Like, see, today we are doing this podcast thing.
Right.
Children are so tech savvy. They are much ahead of us,
Right.
we can say. So there are so many avenues opened up. You want to do engineering, but you like to do music. There is a combination available.
Right.
If you want to do that. So there are so many avenues opened up. Even if you want to do your architecture along with some other main subject, it is still available. So it depends upon the choice, the liking, and the potential of the child.
Right.
So if we give them exposure, they are in a better state of mind to decide and to make the right choices rather than, regret later.
Right.
That's what I feel.
Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, nowadays there is this wave of constant debate in terms of importance of higher education segment, like in terms of getting the degree, whether we should get a degree or not get a degree. Reason for that, for example, the younger generation, they think, let's say, we are very, very creative. We are just a click away in terms of getting those million followers and become an influencer.
Correct.
All of those things. Elon Musk says, degree is not that important and I'll hire someone based on their particular skill set. But is this true on ground level? Because let's say if I don't get a degree and if I apply to some good high manufacturing company, would they hire me without it? What are your thoughts on it?
See, this is completely circumstantial and situational.
Right.
But tell me one thing, can everybody be Elon Musk?
No, absolutely not. Right.
There it is, right? Can everybody be a Tata?
No.
Can everybody be an Ambani?
No.
Can everybody be an Birla? No.
No.
Correct? So, society needs skill sets. Absolutely. Yes, today there is variety, from where you can choose from, definitely. It depends on you. And education, like how Mahatma Gandhi said, education is your passport,
Right.
to any destination that you want to go to.
Yeah.
So that is very important. So that people do degree and they do masters.
Yeah.
Like person like me being in education, but I'm still learning.
Right.
So your learning is not going to stop anywhere. But yes, if you want to achieve a particular thing, then you need to, kind of reach those steps. It is very important because it is not just a degree that you're getting. You're also getting some kind of an exposure. Tell me, yes, you may have millions of followers now. For how long?
Yeah.
Correct? And if you want to keep them hooked on to you for a longer time, then you need to have some kind of substance.
Yeah, absolutely. Even to retain those million followers, you need to have some kind of life experience, some tech skills, something.
Absolutely. And where are you going to get this? Will you just get that by sitting in front of the camera and doing things? No.
So instant success can't replace that traditional education or experience or learning method, which we have been following from such a long time.
Absolutely not. You need to have a balance. See, that's what I said. Unless and until you don't go there. Even if you're doing degree means you're going to college.
Right.
Are you only doing academics there? No. There are so many things. Your leadership skills are getting honed. Your social skills.
Right.
How do you handle yourself emotionally? You also become critical thinker, which we are now even doing in school level.
Right.
Right? But there it is like, the horizon is broadened because you are meeting kids who are at a different age level also.
Cultured,
Yeah.
kind of background.
So in school, it is a little more, kind of controlled, I would say. But in college, you get a little more freedom. Isn't it? So then that time your experience is different. Absolutely. So that is required. Without that, how are you going to survive, your life challenges, I would say.
Right. Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, if we talk about in terms of, because we talk a lot about work-life balance and being happy and so many new generation, younger generation, they are also opting for path of spirituality also. They believe in law of attraction and manifestation. Yet there is such a high wave of depression rate amongst younger generation. Why do you think that is happening when one side we are talking about traveling and taking in self-care and me time, but yet we are parallelly depressed? There's something not working out.
Well, again, I would say this is circumstantial.
Right.
But it also depends on the environment that you are in.
Right.
See, that is why even if you see today's talks at Eldrok, who are about building an environment of culture, even in school, which is required, isn't it? Because today, right from the day the child is born, okay, and from the time they go to school and college and going ahead, we need to see what kind of environment he gets at home and at school.
Right.
Only these are the things which determine to quite a big extent about his well-being.
Right.
See, that is where there is a subject called as well-being today.
Right.
Isn't it? There was a time when we did not mean that. Right? When we have learned like, wow, there was, subjects like that and things like that. Right. Isn't it? But today that's not the case. Today there is a need of it. So everywhere balance is required. So how much screen time, how much socializing, with whom do they socialize, all these things. And the first thing is, what is your environment at home? The environment that you give at home reflects quite a lot on the child. Because the child has been, say the child is at home. What is the child experiencing? We feel that the kids are small, they don't understand, but they understand everything. Yes, and they observe. And it's not really school's responsibility. Oftentimes, we just put everything on school that you improve my child, you do some kind of change.
Right. But the parents and back home, the environment, as you mentioned, so that also plays a very, very important.
That is your house, your family is it's a first school. Your first teacher is your mother, right? And your family members.
Right.
What they give you is what you're going to go and give out in school. So even if it's a 3-year-old toddler, what you're doing at home matters. Now my child does not eat food. So what am I doing? I'm switching on the screen and I'm feeding the child. Where is the food going? Isn't it?
That we are not consciously eating, the mind is somewhere else and you're just feeding it.
So even these minute things matter in the well-being of a child, because the study shows that when you talk about depression and children, it will always go back to the history. How the child was born, what was mother's condition during pregnancy, how are the home situations, all these things. So right now, I would say with divorce cases increasing day by day, families becoming nuclear, even I feel that is one of the factors which adds, because they don't have much to socialize with.
Right.
They are within the four walls or they are hooked to the screen and they don't have friends. They really don't have friends, and that's the sad thing which happens. And all this accumulated leads to depression, like what we heard today. At the age of 10, if a child can think of committing a suicide,
how sad is that your life has just begun. and they think life is too difficult already.
So, parents, educators in today's time need to work together
Right.
in understanding what does the child need, give it to the child,
Right.
support him. Because today's kids ask you why.
Right.
So you should be well equipped to answer that.
Right.
Give them the support and give them the environment, which is very, very important.
Right.
So that maybe, we can work on these things, and get these things to disappear from their life.
Right. Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, do you think happiness and money is correlated, or it's a completely separate thing?
Depends now.
Right.
How do you take it as?
People, everybody is like, we want to have, 100,000, next 500,000, $1 million.
So like to see that is there. You are helping a country's economy maybe in a way.
Yeah.
But then how much importance do you give it? Right. Also important.
Right.
So you should never come to a point in life, I feel, where you have to make a choice.
Right.
If you come to a point where you make a choice between money and your relations, that means then
Something is wrong.
something is wrong. Somewhere there's a gap.
Yeah.
That should be. See, money is a material object which helps you.
Right.
It is not that it's a completely thing, but your relationships are the ones which gives you the foundation of your life.
Right.
They are the roots of your life. Correct.
Right.
So money can only be an aid, in getting things which will make your life easier. That is the only role of money. That's it. There is no other role of money.
One shouldn't be too much dependent on it for every small happiness.
Tell me, will money give you confidence?
That is
It can train you to be confident. But no. For you to have strength, your value, and the way your family supports you is what will help you to stand through things,
right.
isn't it?
Right.
So we have so many cases. What about your sickness? Who is
You
there?
can't control it. Money can't control that sickness.
Then it may help you to get your medicine, it may help you to get a treatment. But what will you at the end need? Your own people, your relationship. Right? So that is more important. So you need to strike a balance. Everything in life is about balance.
Right. Ma'am, that is such a beautiful thought. Ma'am, for my last question, what one piece of advice, life advice, would you like to give to young parents or young students who are listening to you today, who are very confused in their life at this stage?
Yes, they could be confused, but I would always say have a very clear and a transparent communication.
Right.
Whether the parent needs to have it with the children or children need to have it with the parents. That is one very important thing.
Right.
Second important thing for parents and educators is be good listeners and observers.
That is important.
Yes, that is important. So once you do that, you can plug in a lot of things, which will make your life happier and smoother. That's what I will. And yes, for youngsters, as you progress in life, never quit, never give up. Keep trying, and I'm sure success will reach.
Right. So keep trying and success will definitely follow you. Thank you everyone for listening to us today. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing such beautiful thoughts with all our viewers. Thank you everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.